This is video 77 of 101. This video is about relationships. Relationships are some of the most incredible parts of life, where you're taking this person who's an incredible being and forming a bond with them. Now, when I say relationship, I'm not referring to just a romantic relationship. I'm referring to all kinds of relationships. Friendships, coworkers, classmates, family, neighbors, just the people around you. These are relationships that can be built so strongly and provide a lot of fulfillment within life. Just a quick story, if you've watched some of these videos previously, you know that when I was 16 I had this mindful shift in my life, and at that point I was dating this one guy I'd been dating for a few years, and I had a best friend that I'd been best friends with for a while as well. When I made this mental shift, I realized that these two people in my life were very, very negative, and I then broke up with both of them around the same time, and then I was very lost. I was like, well, I don't really have a whole lot of people right now. Those are the only two people that I relied on. I didn't really consider myself to have a lot of friends. I just had those two core people. But then when I left those negative people, I was then blessed with so many incredible friendships. I have so many close friends right now that I consider just to be some of the most valuable parts of my life. And so I think friendships are the most valuable, fulfilling thing that you will ever have in your life. And making a romantic relationship even more fulfilling is when they're your best friend. A relationship is a bond between people, a connection of the mind, letting creativity and energy flow, allowing people to have more fulfilling experiences. But I want people to know that a romantic relationship is not the only kind of fulfilling relationship that is out there. Yeah, they're definitely great, but honestly, if you're not ready for them, they can actually be pretty detrimental to yourself and your life. In the media and everywhere, romantic relationships are the only kinds that we seem to be focused on. I mean, yeah, it's like make some friends, but if it's like, oh, if you're single, when you get to a certain point in your life, people are like, how come you're still single? And there's this pressure to be in a relationship. But I love being single because I get to do whatever I want. I don't have to think about someone else. When I was in a relationship, I couldn't make my own decisions, and I mean, I wasn't in a very good relationship. But if I wanted to go do something, I had to think about this other person. I had to think about this other person the whole time. When you're younger, you shouldn't have to think about anybody but yourself. And I didn't have that kind of responsibility. It just, yeah, it's just a lot, you know? And when you're younger, you should just be thinking about what is going to be best for you. You shouldn't have to worry about some other person who's just a totally different person than you, and you guys are both going to grow so much and become so much different people that maybe staying together during that growth may be a little bit toxic and actually maybe hindering that growth. And my growth was hindered significantly. And once I finally broke up with that guy, I just skyrocketed, and I became such a better person. I'm so much more confident in who I am now. I mean, I'm also gay, so that's a kicker. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with romantic relationships. I just think that we need to make sure that we're having them at the right time. And of course we can have them when we're younger and in high school because they don't really mean a whole lot. But these serious relationships where you're thinking about moving in with that person, committing your life to that person, I think that really needs to be saved until you're at the point in your life where you're very confidently who you are. I think your 20s are an incredible point in time to become this person, to be really solidified in who you are. Because if you think about it, the person you're probably going to marry or whatever you want to do is currently out there right now. At this moment in time, you are not the person that they are going to marry, and they are not the person that you are going to marry. You both need to go through all of these experiences in life that are going to bring you together at the point where it's like, wow, I've become who I want to be, you've become who you want to be, and now we're meeting at this point where we can now be something together. So the reason why you haven't met the person you're meant to be with forever is because you're not that person that they're meant to be with yet. You still have a bunch of experiences to go through to become this person that they're going to meet and fall in love with. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you now, but having experiences can definitely help you down the road. But beyond romantic relationships, I think friendships are the core of life. And friendships are harder to have than romantic relationships. Romantic relationships can just be purely based on physical attraction. But a friendship, you actually want to have to get along with that person. That person's life benefits you by being in your life. And that is a little bit harder to come by finding someone that you can click with. And I definitely understand it's hard, but what you gotta do is just get out there. Go do things that you love. Go do activities that you love, even if you're going to do them by yourself. Going there and you're going to find the people who have the same interests as you, and they're likely similar people, and so you're going to be able to build these bonds from those kind of relationships. Go and volunteer, go take a class, go to a cool event, go somewhere where you've always wanted to go but no one ever wanted to go with you. Just go by yourself. You will meet some incredible people. I think friendship is so valuable because you can have so many of them in all these different capacities, and you don't have to commit yourself. You don't have to think about your friends every time you want to make a decision. Your friends want you to be exactly you. They're going to support your growth and your change, and maybe sometimes you'll have to let go of some friends along the way, but hopefully it's more of just like you guys have grown apart rather than you're like cutting something off, because that's usually like a negative, toxic person that you're cutting off. But sometimes we just grow and we become these new people, and sometimes those people that we are growing away from, they're just growing at a slower pace and they're going to catch up to us eventually and come back. But I don't think we should ever see this as a negative thing. We should never feel wrong for distancing ourselves from negative or toxic people, because this is just an act of self-service, not an act of cruelty. And really, you distancing yourself from that person, you saying, hey, you're a negative person and I need to cut myself away from this, that can be an impactful moment in their life. That can be an incredible lesson for them to reevaluate themselves as well. So my advice is just to focus on your friends as much as you can, focus on yourself, and just be the best you can be. Go out there and find people and make friends. Just like say hi. Honestly, I'm such a shy person, but when you go somewhere, just say hey, just talk about the event, talk about where you are, talk about those experiences that you guys are sharing commonly by the place that you're in. And you're going to find that you're going to start to find more and more people. And then just keep following up with that. Grab their number, add them on social media or something. Like, just dig in and talk about themselves. And then just arrange experiences. Let's meet up for coffee. Let's go do this cool thing. I find that friendships are built on shared experiences. Put yourself in these situations with these people as much as possible. It doesn't have to be like, okay, we're friends, let's hang out every single day. It's like, hey, I meet you this one day, next week let's go grab some coffee. Hey, then we talk about a cool adventure. Let's go do that adventure next week. And then you just keep building on from there. And these shared experiences is what's going to build this bond and make it really, really strong. Friendships are incredible. And I think building a friendship in any kind of capacity, whether it's your family, whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's a coworker or a classmate, building a friendship first is the best way to have a good relationship with that person and get the most out of your existence together. I definitely think romantic relationships are incredible and beautiful and can make you feel things similar to being on drugs. And honestly, I do believe that love is a drug because it makes you do and think crazy things. But there is a time and place for these kind of serious relationships, and it's not in your 20s, it's not when you're a teenager. You've got to be yourself, you've got to be you and be reckless and make mistakes and do stupid shit and just grow and make these mistakes and fail so you can keep pushing yourself and really get ahead into where you want to be. And once you're in this position, then that person that you're meant to be with, that's where you're going to meet them. Not here while you're struggling for yourself. You're going to meet them when you're finally where you're meant to be. So love your friends, call them as much as you can, go out and make new friends. If you have toxic people in your life, get rid of them. It's going to teach them a lesson and it's going to be a good service to yourself. And hey, if anybody wants to be friends, I love being friends. So let's be friends.